operated business. He went from a division in Pillsbury. He was so successful they moved him to manage 400 Burger Kings. And he turned from the least profitable to the most profitable division in Pillsbury. And they decided to move him over to a company called Godfather Pizza. And in 14 months, this man turned around that division to be one of the most profitable. And he was so good, he decided to turn on and buy it with some additional investors and keep it going. And he grew that company tremendously. I want you to give a very, very warm welcome to a gentleman by the name of Herman Cain. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Hello, Lansing. Hello, fellow patriots. Shucky ducky, as the man used to say. Thank you all for being out here today. You like the hat? All right. Since a guy said that, I want to know, ladies, do you like the hat? Then it's okay. All right, all right. Thank you for being here. We now know we got to keep them honest, but we knew that before. We know that we cannot sit in Washington, D.C. and expect them to do what they said they were going to do unless we hold their feet to the fire. That's what we're doing. That's why you are here. And that's why we're going to continue to gather in order to be able to let them know that we are paying attention. You know, the founding fathers got it right when they said, we hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men and women are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator. And I didn't leave that part out. We have a president that's trying to rewrite the Declaration of Independence. Endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It didn't say anything about a Department of Happy in Washington, D.C. That's what some people think, a Department of Happy. It says the pursuit of happiness. And what that meant when the founding fathers put it down was, you can pursue happiness all you want to, as long as you don't tread on the liberties of somebody else. And you have all of the liberties in this great nation of ours, as long as you don't tread on the life of somebody else, and that includes the life of the unborn child, which we must protect. And I know a little something about the pursuit of happiness. Learned it from my mom and my dad, like many of you. My parents wanted to give me a little bit better start in life than they did. And when Dad walked off of that small dirt farm at the age of 18 with just the clothes on his back, he didn't have a degree. He didn't have an SUV. All Dad had was his belief in God, his belief in himself, and his belief in the greatest country in the world. And that's how he pursued his American dream. But we know that the American dream is under attack. And because of the direction of this president and this administration and the liberals in Congress who controlled both houses for 2 years before we took back the House, we have become a nation of crises. We have a moral crisis. We have an economic crisis. We have an entitlement spending crisis. We've got an immigration crisis. We've got an energy crisis. Gasoline has doubled in the last 2 years under this president because we don't have an effective energy independence strategy. And the biggest crisis we have is deficiency of leadership. You know, when our president goes to Brazil and loans them $2 billion and then says America's going to be their best customer, I have a problem with that. Why don't we be our own best customer? Drill here, drill now. We've got the resources.
Right.
Let's be our own best customer for our energy. And when the president gives a speech, the one that he gave yesterday, how did you really feel? And for those of you that missed his speech, I'll sum it up for you in a few words. Raise more taxes, bigger government, less benefits, and less economic growth. That was what all of those teleprompted words meant. More of the same, what I call upside down economics. You don't stimulate the economy by raising taxes on businesses and individuals. That's how you kill jobs in America. Now, I happen to have used all my life the same problem solving approach. I'm a problem solver. I'm not a politician, I'm a problem solver. And problem solvers, we solve stuff. We fix stuff. And I use the same approach in business that I would use if you all happen to elect me president of the United States. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. But the problem solving approach is the same. Start making work on the right problem. Set the right priorities. Surround yourself with the right people. Smart people who know what they're talking about. Listen to them, put together the plans, execute the plans, and then the President of the United States would then be not only the Commander-in-Chief, but the Leader-in-Chief and the Communicator-in-Chief to the people, not to the politicians. I would give up God. I'd have too many problems to solve. Much as I love God. Let me just apply that to one of the things that's one of these crises. Not going to go through all of them. Let's talk about one of the ones that's critical to especially people here in Michigan as well as this whole nation. There are 4 economies that we constantly deal with that impact our lives. You got the global economy. You got the national economy. You got your local economy. And you got your personal economy. If we don't fix the national economy, we don't have a chance at fixing our local and our personal economy. Now here's my 5-point plan. Number 1, lower the top corporate tax rate from 35% to 25%. We are the only developed country in the world that hasn't lowered its top corporate tax rate. The only nation. Number 2, take capital gains tax rate to 0. 0. Number 3, foreign profits that have been generated by multinational corporations. When President George Bush was able to get the tax on repatriated profits or foreign profits in 2003, nearly $350 billion came back into this economy. It is now conservatively estimated that if we take the tax on foreign profits generated overseas and let them come back home, nearly $1 trillion would come back into this economy. It'll offset some of that trillion they wasted on the stimulus bill. Number 4, a full payroll tax holiday for every worker for a year of 6.2% and every employer. Imagine that. Every in America would get a 6.2% raise for a year, and every employer would have his costs lowered. That's direct stimulus. Not this indirect stuff of making government bigger and bigger and bigger. And then most of all, make the tax rates permanent. All we have now is more uncertainty. And businesses don't make multi-million-dollar decisions based upon uncertainty about what the taxes are going to be. We can turn this economy around. We can become energy independent. We can fix all of these major crises we face. We just need the right leadership. Because I happen to know that the American people, this sleeping giant called we the people, it has awakened. And it's not going back to sleep. It has awakened. I did probably 7 radio interviews this morning before I got over here. One of the questions that some of the reporters always ask me, Mr. Cain, do you think this Tea Party thing is going to go away?
No.
And I said, oh, now we are a thing. I thought we were racist. I looked in the mirror this morning and I couldn't find a racist. I don't know what they're talking about. But you see, they only call you racist. You got one bad word that they call it. They called me a whole list. My list got so long being an American black conservative. I'm an ABC. I don't let them label me. I'm an American black conservative. My list got so long, I started a list and put it in my radio studio, and I just add to it every time they call me a new name. I mean, well, keep track of it. Because one day I'm going to take that list and hang it in the Oval Office. Maybe. I'm saving the list. But let me tell you about one of my favorite ones. I was doing a radio show one night. A gentleman called up and he said, Mr. Cain. And this was his voice. I'm not making this up. Mr. Cain. I said, yes, sir. You're shameless. Well, that's a new one, sir. Why do you say that I am shameless? It is shameless for you as a black man to criticize our black president. I said, sir, I have 2 comments to make to you that may be difficult for you to comprehend. But I'm going to make an effort. The first comment is quite simply, contrary to popular belief by some liberals, some black people can think for themselves. We don't need somebody to tell us how to think. And then I said, sir, this next point may be even more difficult for you to comprehend. If we ever reach a point in this great nation where we cannot constructively criticize any of our elected leaders, we are no longer a republic. We will become a nation ruled by tyranny, and some of us are not going to let that happen on our watch. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. And then I said to him, sir, have a happy life. Maybe he learned something. Here's what we've got to do, folks. We are on our way to take back this government. We are on our way. We've already gotten a great start, but we can't stop now. Here are the 3 simple things that we need to do and continue to do and continue to emphasize. Number 1, stay informed. Don't be a dumb voter, because stupid people are running this country. Stay informed. Number 2, stay involved. You've got to Talk to your neighbors, your family, your friends. They've got to get involved. Not everybody can run for public office. Not everybody can be a Tea Party leader. But everybody can do something. And this is what is made up this sleeping giant that has awakened called we the people. So you stay involved. Don't lose your enthusiasm. Continue to be active so we can continue the job that we have started. And then number 3, stay inspired. You see, they want us to believe that we cannot take this country back. They want you and I to believe that what happened on November 2nd was a fluke. They want you to believe that they will be able to take back the House in 2012. They want you to believe that the liberals have taken charge of this nation, which they have, and that the conservatives can't take it back. So stay inspired and believe that we can. And let me tell you what inspires me. 12 years ago, my first grandchild was born. And when I first saw that little face for the very first time, the first thought that went through my mind was, what do I do in order to make this a better nation and a better world? I know that that thought had to have come from God Almighty. Because walking into that delivery room and seeing that little face for the very first time, I didn't know what I was going to think. But my thought was, what do I do to make this a better world? And my life has been unfolding ever since that day. And when President Obama signed health care reform legislation against the will of the American people, that was the straw that broke the camel's back. And I said, I can't sit there and not do everything that I can do, which is why I have formed a presidential exploratory committee in order to run for president of the United States of America, because this is our nation. We the people. We the people are still in charge of this country. My message to President Obama and all the liberals is real simple. The United States of America, the greatest country in the world, is never going to become the United States of Europe. Forget about it. Thank you very much, and God bless you.